Alright, let's get right into it because this is serious business, folks. We're talking about New Orleans Pelicans star Zion Williamson, a young man with immense talent, now facing some incredibly disturbing allegations. In May of 2025, a civil lawsuit was filed against him right in Los Angeles Superior Court. The plaintiff, identified only as Jane Doe to protect her identity, has come forward with some truly shocking claims. She is accusing Williamson of rape and asserting a painful history of alleged sexual, physical, emotional, and even financial abuse. This isn't something that supposedly happened overnight. The lawsuit claims this pattern of behavior spanned from 2018, when Zion was just a freshman phenom at Duke University, all the way through 2023. These are heavy accusations, and we need to address them head-on. Now, when you dig into the specifics of this lawsuit, the details are deeply unsettling, to say the very least. The plaintiff alleges two specific incidents of rape occurring in the year 2020. At least one of these alleged assaults is said to have taken place at a home or apartment Williamson was renting in Beverly Hills, California. Beyond these specific acts, the lawsuit paints a picture of what it calls a continuing pattern of abusive, controlling, and threatening behavior. We're talking about allegations of physical abuse that include claims of strangulation, being kicked, being slammed with a car door, and even suffocation to the point of unconsciousness. These are not minor claims. These are grave charges that demand our attention and serious consideration. The list of allegations, as outlined in the court documents, continues to expand, painting an even more troubling scenario. The plaintiff also claims theft by Williamson. Furthermore, there are accusations of terrifying threats, including Williamson allegedly threatening to have his security guard shoot Miss Doe and even kill her parents back in Louisiana. These alleged threats are said to have occurred between 2020 and 2023. The lawsuit doesn't stop there. It also includes claims of assault, sexual battery, domestic violence, burglary, stalking, and false imprisonment. To add another layer, the plaintiff alleges that Williamson was often under the influence of alcohol or cocaine during these alleged incidents, which reportedly occurred across multiple states including California, Louisiana, and Texas. So, what is Jane Doe seeking through this lawsuit? She is seeking significant monetary damages, reportedly somewhere in the range of $18 million to a staggering $50 million, for the emotional distress she claims to have endured. On top of that, the suit also seeks punitive damages, which are intended to punish the defendant and deter similar conduct in the future. The plaintiff, represented by the Lanier law firm out of Los Angeles, states that she is suffering from severe emotional distress, anxiety, depression, humiliation, and sleep loss, and has incurred substantial medical and psychological expenses as a result of Williamson's alleged actions. Again, these are very serious allegations that have now entered the public and legal domain. Now, it is absolutely crucial, and I mean crucial, to understand that Zion Williamson and his legal team are vehemently denying these allegations. His attorneys from the firm Barrasso Ustin Kupperman Freeman and Sarver LLC, with Michael Bellaccio taking a lead role, have come out swinging. They have described the plaintiff's claims as categorically false and reckless. This is not a soft denial, ladies and gentlemen. This is a full-throated rejection of every single accusation leveled against their client. They are not mincing words, and they are making it abundantly clear that they believe Williamson is innocent of these charges. This sets the stage for what will undoubtedly be a contentious legal battle. Williamson's legal team has also presented a very different narrative regarding the relationship between the NBA star and Jane Doe. They characterize the relationship as entirely consensual and casual. According to their statements, Williamson and the plaintiff never dated, and the relationship began when Williamson was just 18 years old. A key point they emphasize is that during the entirety of this consensual relationship, and even immediately after it concluded, the plaintiff allegedly never raised any concerns or made any of these accusations. This starkly contrasts with the plaintiff's claims of ongoing abuse, suggesting a fundamental disagreement about the very nature and history of their interactions. Furthermore, Williamson's camp isn't just playing defense. They are going on the offensive with some serious counter-accusations of their own. They accuse the plaintiff of extortion. That's right, extortion. They claim that her demands for millions of dollars only began after the relationship had ended, implying a motive other than seeking justice for alleged wrongs. Williamson has reportedly taken these alleged extortion attempts so seriously that he has reported them to law enforcement authorities. This adds another complex layer to an already convoluted situation, suggesting a possible preemptive move or a genuine belief that he is the one being victimized in this scenario. To underscore their position, Williamson and his legal team have announced their intention to file a counterclaim against Jane Doe. This counterclaim will reportedly be for alleged extortion and defamation, and they will be seeking substantial damages in return. Their defense strategy appears to be built on the assertion that this lawsuit is primarily financially motivated. They argue that it's an attempt by the plaintiff to exploit Williamson's status as a high-profile professional athlete for monetary gain. This frames the lawsuit not as a quest for truth and accountability, but as a calculated move to extract money from a wealthy public figure. This is their stance, and they're prepared to fight for it. It's incredibly important for everyone following this story to understand the nature of these legal proceedings. What we have here is a civil lawsuit. I need to repeat that, a civil lawsuit. As of this date, May 31st, 2025, no criminal charges have been filed against Zion Williamson in connection with these allegations. This is a critical distinction. In a civil case, the plaintiff is seeking monetary damages for alleged harm, whereas a criminal case involves the government prosecuting someone for breaking the law, with potential penalties like imprisonment. The case is currently in its very early stages in Los Angeles Superior Court, and under the principles of our justice system, Zion Williamson is presumed innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. So how will the truth be determined? Well, that's what the legal process is for, though it can be a long and arduous road. This process will involve an exhaustive examination of all available evidence. We're talking about communications between Williamson and Jane Doe, spanning from 2018 to 2023. Texts, emails, social media messages, you name it. There will be testimonies from both Williamson and the plaintiff, where they will each tell their side of the story under oath. Potential witnesses could also be called to testify. The credibility of everyone involved will be intensely scrutinized by the opposing legal teams and, ultimately, by the court or a jury. As of now, no independent evidence or findings have been publicly released to corroborate either side's claims. Let's talk about the potential outcomes, because that's what everyone is wondering about. If, after all the evidence is presented and arguments are made, Zion Williamson is found liable in this civil case, the consequences could be severe. He could be ordered by the court to pay significant damages to the plaintiff, potentially in that $18 to $50 million range we discussed, or even more if punitive damages are awarded. Beyond the financial impact, a finding of liability for such serious allegations would undoubtedly have devastating repercussions for his reputation, his endorsements, and possibly his NBA career. The stakes are incredibly high for him. On the other hand, what happens if Zion Williamson is cleared or if he prevails in court and the plaintiff's claims are not substantiated? In that scenario, he would not be required to pay damages for the claims made against him. Furthermore, if his planned counterclaim for extortion and defamation is successful, Jane Doe could face legal consequences herself, and Williamson might even be awarded damages from her. However, even if he is legally exonerated, the very public nature of these serious allegations could still leave a lasting impact on public perception. There's also the common possibility in civil cases that this could be resolved privately through an out-of-court settlement, where both parties agree to terms to end the litigation without a public trial. To all the fans out there, especially the passionate supporters of Zion Williamson, I know this news is tough to hear. It's shocking, it's disturbing, and it raises a lot of questions. But here's what you absolutely must remember. These are allegations in a civil lawsuit. They are not proven facts. They are not criminal charges at this moment. The legal process, as slow and frustrating as it can sometimes be, is designed to uncover the facts and determine the truth. And until that process plays out, Zion Williamson, like any individual in this situation, is presumed innocent. That is a cornerstone of our justice system, and it must be respected by all of us. It's natural to want to support an athlete you admire, but it's also vital to approach this situation with a balanced perspective. That means respecting the seriousness of the claims being made and acknowledging the courage it takes for any individual to come forward with such allegations. Avoid the temptation to rush to judgment or to spread misinformation and unverified rumors on social media. That helps absolutely no one. The best course of action is to be patient, allow the legal system to do its work, and wait for the court's findings, which will be based on evidence rather than speculation. Let the facts emerge before forming definitive conclusions. So, how can Zion Williamson himself navigate these turbulent waters and work to overcome these issues? Firstly, Full cooperation with all legal proceedings is paramount. Providing any and all relevant evidence to support his defense will be crucial. Secondly, maintaining professionalism and avoiding public statements or confrontations that could negatively impact his case is incredibly important. He needs to let his experienced legal counsel manage the communications and the defense strategy. And as difficult as it may be, he should try to focus on his career and his responsibilities as a professional athlete, assuming he's able to play once he recovers from his recent back injury. If he is eventually exonerated, then the work of rebuilding his public image, perhaps through transparency and community engagement, will begin. Finally, let's not forget the human element here for everyone involved. This is an incredibly stressful and emotionally taxing situation. Zion, who will turn 25 in July 2025, should undoubtedly lean on his support systems, the NBA, the Pelicans organization, his personal network, and potentially public relations professionals and mental health experts. Similarly, we must acknowledge the importance of mental health and privacy for the plaintiff, Jane Doe, as she navigates this challenging process. As fans and observers, our role is to follow updates from credible, established news sources, not from the rumor mill. Let's allow the truth to come out and respect everyone involved while the legal system takes its course.